All right. Welcome to a special episode of FaBled Hunters. It's just a little bit past the Pro Tour. That's why I've got this playmat for the Pro Tour competitors, one of 375. I've been tasked in the past to handle some very, very special collections, and I think that so far there's no collection as special to me as this one. This collection came from a member of Legend Story Studios, and they asked that their specific names not be mentioned, but these cards were transported to me before the Pro Tour, and I was entrusted to get these graded with BGS, as well as allowed to make a video about it. So it is an honor to be handling some of the goods from the creators of this amazing game. It was a lot of pressure. I made sure to put in a lot of extra work. Made sure to get everything re-sleeved, re-semi-rigided. I got the original materials, but these didn't seem to be Ultra Pros. The plastic was a little different. These were just the generic semi-rigid card holders, so I got through all of that. I actually even asked, I was like, hey, all this stuff, you're so close to PCG in Auckland, New Zealand, why not? And the individual told me, hey, let's just to call a spade and be real. I think the individual had seen some of my content and just agreed with me that right now Beckett nets the largest premium, so he's like, hey, this product is appropriate for Beckett. If it was Tails or some of the newer stuff, maybe PCG would be the way to go. But right now, Beckett has proven to have the largest premiums. Funny that he mentioned that, because I was at the Pro Tour, and even Matt Rogers himself, one of the founders of PCG, had agreed. He said, hey, sometimes you just have to submit, it's just right, it's financially right to submit an asset to Beckett if it will net a certain grade. If it's close, probably sending it to Beckett will net a higher premium. And it was just so refreshing to just hear that level of transparency. I almost felt guilty, suggesting some folks in past months to submit. I encourage a lot of folks to submit a lot of goods to PCG, but there's some things, even like, tunics, cold foil tunics, cold foil hearts, even some really spicy stuff, which we'll get into, that simply don't currently have a better home. So I just wanted to also use this maybe as a verification video to make sure that all these cards, which are, really almost all gem mint condition, really nicely centered, will make it safely. I've already taken the steps to make sure the dust goes off. This is probably inside the sleeve, is it? Let me see. One more time. This went in. I see. Oh, yep, that's in the sleeve, not inside with the card. So this card is good. It is ready. It is centered well. Scab skins. Quickly scan. Yep. Tech plate. There's a mini nick right there. Came like that. Sometimes it comes out of the box. You see that slight whitening. Just a feather of white right there. Right by where my finger is. Otherwise, this tech plate is rather nice. I just must say, this individual just caught products with some really nice corners. That's the only imperfection on these. These are really nice cards. Haven't gotten a batch of cold foils of this quality in a long time. You could open 5-10 boxes and not see cold foils with this quality. A lot of people, they think that grading is simply grading, but it's simply stuffing a card in a semi-rigid and that's it. But it's so much more than that. There are, these little fibers, mini fibers, these little specks that sometimes get stuck to a card, and you just have to brush it like so and clean the card thoroughly without damaging it. For example, this was an slightly unclean cut. You can see where the tip of my my finger is right there. There's a little bit of white. That used to have a jagged edge, and I had to kind of remove that. Even on a card like a Hard to Find All, I mean, having a bad edge, you know, I'm not shaving the card, but if the edge could be smoothed out a little bit, that can help ever so little, help the grader assess a slightly better grade. I think, yeah, that was one heart. Even on this heart, there was something like just slight bit of loose paper, just a extra paper fibers, and by smoothing that out, it made the difference. It definitely made a big difference. I mean, these corners here, look at these corners. This individual really knew how to pick them. This is really nice. The only thing I'd be worried about is slight difference in centering, but yeah, hopefully this still qualifies for 9.5. It would be great to, you know, help birth the fourth legitimate quad hard to find all in the world, because there are 4 legitimate ones. There's one which might as well have an 8.5 centering that everybody in the graded community knows is not legitimate. You've got the Teklo, cross wrap, grasp. Oh, really, really nice. Centering's a little bit thicker on the left though, but I don't know. I have a feeling something like this can get away with a generous 9.5 centering. Maybe not, at least a 9. But I mean, look at these corners. These things are beautiful. Storm Striders. Oof, really, this is really nicely centered. This is pretty much as close to 10 as you can get. Okay. Slight feather right there in the top left corner. Otherwise, these are some really nice corners. See, even these little paper fibers, they just float around. You gotta get rid of them, especially when they're on the card. Sometimes even brushing them isn't enough. You just gotta, you know, be very, very gentle, very careful. All right, centering, same thing. Thicker here than here. You could see it rather easily. Okay, nick to the right. Micro nick over there, and another like 2 fangs right there. So this will not grade as well in the corners. Arcanite skull cap though, decently centered. The 2 eyes, this one you can tell centering issues, but eyes have always been plagued with centering issues. This one is rather nicely centered for an eye. Usually it's on the bottom here. This is not nearly diamond cut as anything else, so hopefully we don't get hit too badly by the bottom thicker than top. If we can get a 9.5 centering, these corners, man, still looking to grade that second quad eye. Will this be the one? Arcanite shard. I have to mention I took a very deep look at every single card, and I just wanted to take this one out specifically. See, this is a beautiful Arcanite shard, and well, looks great from the front, but there were surface issues here, and you see the surface issues, you could tell that not everything is exactly perfect. There's a slight blemish over there, you see that, right? That shows a slight compromise to that beautiful sheen. What else was there? There's a slight blemish over there. Yeah, so these, you know, it's so much pressure taking on valuable cards, especially when they're not mine. I treat them, you know, others' cards with even more respect and care than my own. See, if it was up to me, I'd try putting some moisture, trying to rub this sheen a certain way, but yeah, I think because this is not my card, I don't want to risk any potential damage to the surface. We're gonna let it go like so, but you can tell that this is not a perfect 10 surface. Otherwise the card is beautiful, but sometimes if they're your card and you have the skill set to handle it, you can apply a little bit of moisture, some oils, some chemicals, but we will not get into that. I do not want to lead folks down an unhealthy rabbit hole that might lead to damage. However, that was really the only problem child that was there. Everything else just pristine. These cards, the slingshots, just beautiful. Everything is beautiful. They feel like the original prototypes. I do wish this individual the best of luck to hit golds and maybe even quads. I just have to mention, oh man, this is an individual of taste. The fate foreseen promos to round things out. I have been looking for these as well. So anyways, this was a great batch to handle. Put in a lot of time to make sure that each surface, all the edges, everything was clean. Everything that I could have done to fix up the card on every single card has been done, with the exception of the Arcanite Shard. Still hope that this gets a 9 to 9.5 surface, and that won't be a problem. But these were some really pristine cards, especially the FaBled, the eyes and the hearts. So yes, it's great to have all this on camera, hoping that with the express service tier that the folks in Texas in the BGS building will also take good care of this batch, as we're going to try to submit it for express service. And let's see what happens, guys.
We're back, and Renji came along to see the results. You saw the video before, right?
Yeah, so you were pretty busy during the Pro Tour weekend.
Yep.
I don't know whose these are, but I looked at the cards and they're all pretty nice cards.
They're pretty nice cards. Yep. It's a member of LSS. It was transported from New Zealand to here. I was handed the cards, told to grade them, and advised that if I wanted to show the results, I could show the results to share with the community.
It looked, when you were going through the cards, when they were raw, that a couple of them were pretty nice.
Yes, pretty nice. The eyes were a little off-centered.
Yeah.
I think, was there a shard in there? Maybe there was a shard in there. Yeah. I think the shard was not ideal, but let's take a look. There's some really spicy items. Let me just say that, take this moment to say that LSS loves including their team, and their team is really bought in. So, you know, this is all above board because LSS employees are encouraged to purchase the sealed products. You know, they have their own personal allocation and encouraged to buy into their own game. That's literally encouraging buy-in, right? So a lot of them are collectors. A lot of them have many years in TCG experience. And let's see how good this individual's graded eye was. You know, they picked out, from what I heard, was a very extensive collection. They picked out their best candidates.
That's pretty crazy if you can like pick out cards. I don't even have, like, let's talk about unlimited. I don't have multiple FaBleds to pick from.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, so.
Well, I mean, when you're on the initial creation team, or you work for the company that makes the game, then obviously you will have access to certain items, right?
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And remember, they wanted buy-in. I mean, 2 years ago, nobody knew about Flesh and Blood outside of New Zealand and Australia, right?
Yeah, until some asshole bought out all the...
Yeah, some asshole, yes. Okay, so we're getting into it. Let's take a look at number one. Do you know what that is?
Is that like one of the slingshot?
Well, yeah, because the slingshots are the only FaB cards that don't have backs.
Yep.
So let's start with...
Ooh.
Whoa, let's get the sleeve off. Wow, that is a quad plus Iron Rot chest.
Dang.
I mean, there are not many of these in the world to begin with. I think chest... Was it the chest that had the least pieces, the chest and legs, I think? Because the helm had more, right? Helm and gloves, there were more of.
Oh, I have no idea what the total population.
I think
they're not all the same?
They're not all the same.
Okay.
Some were short printed. Some didn't make it for whatever reason.
Okay.
So some were more common. Next card is a silver label. It is an Arcanite skull cap.
I've seen this a lot. I've seen a lot of 9++.
Yeah,
caps.
9 quad++. Centering is a problem. Corners are always a problem. Nothing new.
Usually it's corners and something else.
Yeah. Nothing special. Put this over to the side.
It's a little special, but not.
No, the grade isn't special. The card is great, right?
Yeah.
We are next venturing back into gold label land. There we go. That is nice. Yep, centering is better here. I agree.
I guess we found out that even LSS employees can't get the good corners.
But they did pick the better cards, right? Next one.
The problem that plagues us all.
Yes. It's all fair when it comes to FaB corners on cold foils. Ooh, this is nice. This is a very nice card. If you haven't heard, that is a hard to find doll.
Yeah, you were saying in your initial review that you thought the heart was really nice.
Yeah, and indeed, it is really nice. It's not easy getting a 9.5, so we'll put this up there, or keep it aligned in a line right there. That's the heart. Next, we have another one.
Okay.
With one slingshot comes.
Whoa!
Wow! Look at that.
10.
That is
So close.
a 10.
If not for the surface.
Yeah, this time the corners, there's no whitening. There's no special whitening. There's no nicks.
That's the trick. You
There it is, 10 corners.
I'll print the whole back white.
Yes. And the surface, I can't, 9.5 surface, I can't tell. Even one slight imperfection, it gets you a 9.5. 10 is an amazing grade. Obviously, 10 is an amazing grade. Kudos to the diligent LSS team member, hitting an Iron Rot 10. We're back in Silver Label land. This is not as good. See the centering, right, left? Yeah, you could tell. I don't know if I mentioned it in the earlier video, but you could tell by the centering.
Okay.
That's a fair grade.
That's actually is 9.5.
Yeah, 9.5 corners is very solid, and the corners are indeed very solid, but you got to hit all 4 subgrades really strong, and that's what the difficult part is. Another gold label. There we go. She's a beaut. Findall Spring Tunic. We've just been lucky pulling tunics, and yeah, very, very lucky pulling tunics. As a matter of fact, I was being a patron of Flesh and Blood Unsealed last night, and Chris Sires pulled me a tunic as well. So we heard from LSS management that the print runs of the tunics are exactly the same as the other legendaries.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, we've just been lucky pulling more tunics than any other legendary. That's a good problem to have, right? Here's another one, Brave Forge Bracers, Silver Label. Brave Forge is tough. It feels like of the legendaries, the bracers are the toughest ones to grade.
Okay.
So yeah, I think tunics are the easiest, bracers are the toughest.
Got it.
And then the second toughest is probably the Mask of Momentum, because the bottom strip under the equipment, there's like a little blue smudge, and I'd say about a quarter of them. Next gold label is Speak of the Devil, Mask of Momentum. And the bottom is clean, there's no blue strip. Usually there's like a blue imperfection, like 1 in 4. Here's the gold label mask. That's really cool. What's next? Hey, this is a really hard card, especially just any rainbow foil is pretty hard to grade. You've got chip there. That's an imperfect corner. Bottom 2 corners are a little better though, but 9 corners I agree with. That is a Foreign Fate Foreseen. That's cool. All right, put these promos at the bottom. Put them with the other promos. Next one, gold label. Skullbone Crosswrap, 9.5. Yep, just a good grade.
Yeah.
Good gold label. Here we go. Another Slingshot Underground promo. Man, 9.5 quad plus corners and edges. These cards are just consistently hitting the 10 corners. That is beautiful. Beautiful. Next, we've got gold tectonic plating.
Oh, this is a gold plating.
Oh, no. Gold label.
Gold label.
Yeah, 9.5 basic. Gold label. Not gold foil.
I have a funny story about gold foils.
Yeah?
So, you know Isaac Crute? Isaac Crute is a Pro Tour New Jersey top 8 member.
Okay.
He got a gold foil Crown of Seeds. So he was trying to sell it. He played it in his old hymn deck, I think the entire weekend in Vegas. And then we asked him, it's how are the sales going? He's like, it's bad. In all the rounds, nobody noticed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his Crown of Seeds.
Oh, wow.
His gold foil.
Yeah, because it's very subtle, right?
Yeah.
Maybe Isaac should grade it so that it can be presented and it could pop and not be behind multiple layers of sleeves, right?
True.
Well, here's an eye.
Okay.
This is pretty tough to grade.
Gold label.
Yes, a gold label eye. I think there are multiple eyes. This one was probably the better of the two.
You said there was one that wasn't like that badly diamond cut.
Yeah.
This one I think is the one that's diamond cut.
Yes, this one's diamond cut. This one's tilted this way. This one's worse. This one's better. And there you go. It translated over to the 0.5 disparity on the centering subgrade. Another gold label. Okay, scabs. This time with the corners. Corners being good. Keep it moving. Ooh. This one's in demand. There are not that many quad Grasp of Arknights in the world. It is very, very tough to hit a quad. So congrats to the LSS member hitting one quad Grasp of Arknight. Usually those are between, I think, 4 to 6% of any given pop. Wow. Here's a promo, basic plus, Fate Foreseen.
Nice.
Got 2 gold Fate Foreseens. Couple more slabs. Here's the shard, see? 8 surface. I said there was something wrong with the surface, and they caught it.
What is wrong with it?
There's just some smudging back here, I believe. It's just so easy for surfaces to become compromised, even in these newly printed cards. Maybe there's like a light print line, and that's all it takes for the surface to go down to an 8. I think there are 4 slingshots. This is the 4th. There we go. Quad plus, 9.5 quad
so all the
plus.
slingshot ones got quad or better.
Yeah, this is a very nice set of slingshots. Let's just get them all together. That's slingshot number 3, slingshot number 1, slingshot number 2, 4 slingshots. That is amazing, right? That is super awesome. Okay, a couple more. Here we go. Another quad. Teklo Foundry Heart. The centering looks fine. The corners are beautiful. Corners are beautiful. I mean, there's a little, like a micro nick up there. That's all I can. Yeah, that's it. A micro nick up there. Not even. That's like a fraction of a feather. You can barely see the white over there. But yes, 9.5 corners, well deserved. We've got 2 very nice quads over here to close things out. We have one last. Little Beckett promo. We have one last piece. There we go. Round out the Fate Foreseens. 1 basic plus and 2 basic pluses.
Okay, not
awesome. Yeah, so it was great sharing this experience, opening and looking at these slabs. I don't do this type of thing for everybody. Obviously, this was a member of LSS. I feel relieved because when individuals trust me with their cards, it's just a lot of responsibility. Things can go wrong with shipping, damage can happen, but I'm really glad that this batch made it, and I will be traveling with this batch to hand deliver it in Pro Tour Lille, because these days, with collectibles, with theft, and with mail delays, just anything can happen. So guys, hope you guys liked the episode. Feel free to comment, subscribe, twiddle that notification button, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye!